Motoring 2012 on TSN is brought to you by Michelin, a better way forward.
Along with Starbucks, Microsoft, and Jimi Hendrix, to name a few, Seattle is a city that wants to become North America's first climate-neutral city with zero net greenhouse emissions by 2030. Good luck. However, this lofty goal is probably one reason that Toyota has chosen Seattle to launch its latest member to the Prius family, the Prius C. So why does Toyota need another Prius? Well, it believes that the C, which stands for city, is going to attract a brand new customer to its showroom. And where have we heard this before? That customer is a member of the Y generation.
You and I both know this is a generation that does not like cars. I mean, there are people in the Y generation that still skateboard. I mean, you got to turn these people around and get them to like cars. I'm not sure that a Prius hybrid is the way to go about that.
60% of Gen Y say that they expect their next car to be a hybrid. That new buyer is looking for something that's sporty, that represents their style, that has a very high level of amenities in it, and so we think about that connectedness of the Gen Y consumer.
21 grand to start for the base model. That's not a cheap car. That's an average price car. So I don't know if this is the one to do for them. Generation Y, they know, is very hard to please.
The Prius C is the smaller of the family. It's the most affordable hybrid on the road in Canada, available under $21,000. It's the most fuel-efficient vehicle without a plug in Canada. Something for new car buyers who are looking for something that's a little more affordable, efficient, but a premium feel with a lot of amenities, a lot of standard features.
The problem here is there's too many hybrids. Nothing wrong with the system, but now we've got 4 hybrids in this market. You got the V, the regular one, the C that we're driving today, and then the plug-in, which is just coming just around the corner. I can't see the point of having this many hybrids in this market.
Think about it, last month, 37% of our mid-size car sales were hybrids. For Toyota, hybrid's been very important, and it's been growing over the last number of years. Even on the Lexus side, roughly 17% of our total sales are hybrids. I think younger consumers are very knowledgeable, they're very understanding of the fact that transportation is going to play a significant role in their life, but they're looking for something a little different in their car, and Prius C is one of the ways we're responding to that.
On the inside, a fair bit of road noise. What really concerns me about the interior is the layout. I mean, it's utilitarian, it's minimal at best, brown and black. And you know, this car is directly aimed at young people. Will this turn them on? Will it get them passionate about a vehicle? I don't think so.
It's a 1.5 liter Atkinson cycle engine with two motor generators, one that drives the wheels, one that charges the batteries or provides energy to the motor. It's our smallest hybrid system yet, so we've actually shrunken the system quite a bit to suit a subcompact vehicle. It uses a 144 volt hybrid battery that's located under the seat, so you still have ample amount of storage, 17 cubic feet of storage. A smaller engine, smaller size system, but still provides enough electric power and gasoline power for this type of subcompact vehicle.
When I drove the Lexus CT200H, I complained about the poor turning radius for a small car. Well, ditto with the Prius C. I mean, look at this. And this is a car designed for the city where tight turns are a daily occurrence.
I don't hate it, I don't like it. It's just, transportation, get in, hit the button, off you go. You can't do anything with it. It doesn't handle very well, doesn't perform that well. It's okay, but I can't get excited about it. For the next 18 months, they're going to introduce 18 new models, and they want to be the hybrid car company. So we're going to be seeing more hybrids in other models as time goes on. Don't forget, Toyota got the crap kicked out of them in 2009 and 2010 with that whole floor mat unintended acceleration bit. So now they're coming back with a vengeance. I think they are on a mission to prove that they make good cars, and they make lots of them, and they're going to cover every possible niche of the market. And I think that they're going to outsmart themselves. There's going to be too many cars and not that many people buying the hybrid.
As I said, to the extent that this newest generation of consumers coming along, in the majority believes that hybrid is the way to go, just suggests that the future of the automobile in the near term belongs to hybrid.
This is a good step in the right direction for Toyota, to make an affordable hybrid. That's a good idea, but it's not quite affordable enough.
They're black, they're round, and there's one at each corner. More later on Kenzie's Corner.
I can't think of a car company that's been on life support more often than Chrysler, but each and every time they've bounced back, and this time is no exception. On this edition of Test Drive, the latest version of the Dodge Charger. I like the original Dodge Charger, and this in spite of its warts. It was the epitome of a good muscle car and defined what the genre was all about. Power to spare in a car that hangs in like a sports car with attitude. The latest edition manages to take that basic credo and build on it to the point where there's very little connection between past and present. The cabin of this Charger takes an enormous step forward. The materials are first class and soft to the touch. The seats very comfortable. The instrumentation is very classy. And this screen that sits in the middle, it is touch sensitive. Many of the cars this car goes up against, they're not. There is, however, one thing I do not care for. This electronic shifter. It seems to have a mind of its own and didn't do what I wanted it to do much of the time. The power for the Charger SXT comes from Chrysler's new Pentastar engine. This 3.6-litre V6 spins out an effortless 292 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. The beauty is that even when forced to run at the top end of the rev range, the engine does not get thrashy or noisy. Now that could not have been said of the previous engine. It also brings the mustard necessary to get the Charger from rest to 100k in about 7 seconds. Now this is the base V6 Charger. If you want to put a little extra urgency underneath the hood, you simply go for the RT. The 370 horsepower V8 drops the acceleration time to 100k to 5.6 seconds. Now if that's not quite enough adrenaline, you simply go for the SRT8. That bad boy puts out 470 horsepower, which cuts the acceleration time by another full second. The power is fired to the rear or all four wheels through an 8-speed manumatic transmission. It works very nicely with the engine to deliver a decent turn of speed and pretty good fuel economy, a test average of 10.6 litres per 100 kilometres. If you're looking at the Charger, the only way to go is with the four-wheel drive model. The system functions flawlessly and makes the Charger far less tail-happy than its rear-drive sibling when the electronic stability control system is turned off. To conserve fuel, the all-wheel drive system automatically disconnects the drive to the front wheels. However, it's smart enough to re-engage everything if the wipers are turned on, which ensures maximum traction in slippery conditions. When you get in and out of the back seat, first of all, you've got to watch your head there. You will find decent legroom, some place to put your feet underneath. The tunnel, it does away with the ability to carry a third person. And if you happen to be tall, make friends with the glass. In terms of its handling, the Charger is surprising to say the very least. Something this large should not dance as well as it does. The suspension dials out basically all unwanted body roll, while the new electro-hydraulic steering delivers the right feel and feedback, all of which means it is much faster when it's pointed into a corner. Throw in the all-wheel drive's larger 235/55 R19 tyres and the Charger handles itself very nicely when it's pushed towards its considerable limit. In this regard, it is, as I say, a far cry from its muscly ancestors. Nobody is going to mistake this for anything other than a Dodge Charger. However, when compared to the previous car, this one is better in every single area. So much so, for my money, this car still represents the best value in the segment.
Michelin, a better way forward.
Now, while the North American International Auto Show highlights the very best new vehicles in the world, this latest Michelin innovation can reinvigorate the vehicle that is already in American driveways and give it instant improved performance. I am pleased to introduce to you the Michelin Defender tire, the best standard passenger car tire we have ever made. What's really great about the Michelin Defender line is that this is a tire that you don't receive on new cars, but that you put on as a replacement fitment to basically renew your car. And the longer that consumers hold on to cars, the more important replacement tires become. Well, every 4 or 5 years, we launch a significant new replacement market tire into the marketplace. And we've chosen this year at the Detroit Auto Show to launch the Michelin Defender line. It's a complete revamp of our replacement market offer for the Michelin brand. It's a tire that gives the consumer tremendous advantages in terms of significantly shorter stopping distances, up to 31 feet shorter than the leading competitor. It gives 21,000 miles of additional wear, again, compared to our leading competitor. So we consider that to be a very significant improvement in performance that our Michelin consumers are waiting for. Tires that stop shorter are obviously much safer, and the key element is that tires do influence fuel economy. A tire consumes, as it rolls, about 1/5 of the fuel that a car is burning. So we make tires that improve the efficiency of fuel consumption. This tire will take it to the next level.
I'm Howard Elmer, and I'm telling you, don't let the eco-terrorists fool you. Hybrids are okay, but there's a big secret out there, and I know what it is. Come check me out at motoringtv.com.
But when we asked people about what they knew about Subaru, suddenly we didn't score so well. And when we asked them country of origin, most people thought that Subaru was either Korean, Swedish, or Australian even. I guess that comes from the Outback.
As we saw earlier, the Prius C is aimed at the Y generation, the future car buyer. Not sure why. They're a little short on cash unless it's to buy the latest iPhone. Okay, maybe I'm being a little unfair. But you know, Toyota is not alone. It seems every car maker is obsessed with this demographic. And when it comes to Toyota, they already have Scion, and it's aimed at the same gang.
The whole Scion brand's about experimenting with new ways of marketing, and really about trying to hit a style leader and opinion leader in a younger generation. With the Toyota brand, we're about mainstream. And you know, even in the youth market, that means practicality mixed with the style and performance of the vehicle. And that combination is what Prius C is all about.
Pick any manufacturer you like. They're all making fuel-efficient, affordable economy cars. It doesn't have to be a Toyota. You can pick a General Motors or a Ford. They're all doing the same thing. The thing to point out is, as somebody mentioned today, you can buy a Yaris for 15, 16 grand, and it'll take 10 years to recoup that money if you buy a Prius. And you'll get almost the same fuel economy. Not quite as good, but just about as good, and you'll get better performance. So, to me, I'm fine with hybrid technology. I like it. It's good. It's clean. It's reliable. But I just, from a dollars and cents standpoint, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Increasingly, it's not about being a hybrid, it's about selling the car and just adding the benefit of hybrid technology. And I think that's going to be very important as we move forward into the middle of the decade and the new fuel economy and emissions regulations. It's going to be absolutely critical that we can deliver cars with good value that have all the power and efficiency, but gain new levels of fuel economy and a sort of driving performance that only hybrid can really deliver.
Our motoring tip of the week concerns fuel octane. Now there's a few vehicles, very few, that require premium unleaded fuel. And you'll see a warning on the gas gauge right on the dash of your car. It's usually on the fuel filler door or the gas cap and in the owner's manual, or all three if your car requires premium fuel. In most cases though, the vast majority of cars run just fine on regular fuel, and adding higher octane fuel to those cars is wasted money in most cases. There's the odd occurrence on a tow haul vehicle like a sport utility, a van, or a pickup that have higher tow haul capabilities. There's the odd time in the summertime, hot weather, AC on, and a big load. If you're climbing hills, you might hear ping or knock out of the engine. If you do, then it is beneficial on those vehicles to bump up 1 or 2 octane levels to get rid of that harmful noise that you're hearing in the engine. Now, there's a different tip for small engines. and that concerns ethanol-enhanced fuels. Now, most of the pump fuels that we see in Canada have at least 5 or 10% in some cases ethanol enhancement. There's one fuel, Shell Super, that contains no ethanol, and that's a high-grade, high-octane fuel. And for these small engines, getting rid of the ethanol enhancement is beneficial because ethanol is harmful to carburetors and neoprene gaskets and seals in the fuel systems of these smaller engines. It's not an issue at all for your motor vehicle, for your car, truck, or van, complete non-issue. But for your small engines, that can that you keep in the garage for fueling up those small engines, make sure that you use Shell Super Gas, no ethanol in it, longer carburetor life, better performance from the engine. That's your motoring tip of the week.
Best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, best-in-class torque and fuel efficiency. This truck is best in its class. You all know me as the Truck King, and today I'm testing Canada's most popular pickup truck. I'm going to tell you what's good and what's bad about this, the 2012 Ford F-150. For 2012, Ford is offering 4 engines in the F-150 from mild to wild, but the single most popular one is this one right here, the EcoBoost, 3.5-liter V6, twin turbochargers, high pressure fuel injection. This motor, in essence, is a diesel running on gas. And what does that mean to you? Well, it means that you're going to get impressive fuel mileage, but you're still getting 365 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. And this thing will still tow over 5,000 kilograms. And that's why this truck has sold over 100,000 copies in just the last year. And it is now the most ordered pickup truck in Canada. I really like the interior of this truck. Frankly, Ford's done a really good job on it. It's luxurious. More luxurious than some Lincolns I've been in. But in addition to that, their electronics are top-notch. You've got a 7-inch touchscreen over here, and between the gauges, you've got another large readout which is giving you all kinds of information from fuel economy to off-road statistics. And on top of that, everything in here is powered. The seats, passenger and driver, powered pedals, mirrors, the back window. And those seats, by the way, they're heated and cooled. But as luxurious as this interior is, we still need to find out whether this truck can work for a living. This F-150 is kitted out with the FX4 package. That's 4-wheel drive, but with a locking rear differential, heavy-duty shocks, and skid plates under the transmission, fuel tank, and transfer case. With this suspension, you certainly feel the bumps, but no matter how big they are, the truck handles it. Also, the new electric power steering on the Ford is tight and centered, even on the nasty washboard bumps. And the EcoBoost made more than enough power for any road condition I put the truck through today. So it passed the off-road test, but that was empty. So what do I haul in a truck this pretty to test it? How about a ton of fertilizer? And while the suspension squatted, the truck carried the weight just like it's designed to do. I do have a few pet peeves with this Ford F-150, specifically where it has to do with towing. On the driver's side, I get a convex mirror, but I don't get one on the passenger side. Neither one of the mirrors pulls out, and the 4- and 7-pin electrical connectors at the back are still under the bumper where they get really dirty. But having said that, I love the EcoBoost engine in this truck. The price of gas, frankly, is not going to go down, and I don't want to get a smaller truck. So you've got to go EcoBoost. So all day long, anything we've thrown at this truck, it works. I love it. But then again, for $60,000, it better work.
Closed captioning of Motoring 2012 is brought to you by
Greener, fuel efficient, global. This is Chevrolet Now, driving our world forward.
Bernie's one of our viewers. He's looking to buy a BMW, but he's upset that this vehicle only comes with run-flat tires. It looks like BMW is the big supporter of this particular type of tire. Now, the reason car makers look at run-flats is primarily weight saving. If they can save couple of dozen kilograms of weight, then they get a couple of extra counts of fuel consumption, and it helps them reduce the fines they might face in the United States because the EPA penalizes car makers if they don't meet certain fuel economy standards. Now, there's a bunch of downsides to run flats. Obviously, the ride quality gets a little bit harsher because the sidewall has to be strong enough to support the weight of the car without any air in it. The biggest problem, obviously, is what happens if you get a flat. Now, can't remember the last time I actually had a flat tire, but somehow we get used to the fact that we have a spare tire. We don't carry spare spark plugs or a spare muffler, but that spare tire, that just gives us a bit of extra security. Now, if you just get a puncture in a run flat tire, you probably have about 80 kilometers at low speeds to get to the tire store. But once you get there, you gotta hope he's got the tire in your size for your particular car. Chances are he doesn't, so you're probably stuck. If he does have it, chances are it's going to cost you huge amounts of money because these things are 50%, 100% more expensive than conventional tires. So I don't know that you have any options, except maybe you can make a deal with the dealer and say, listen, why don't you keep the 4 run flats that come with the car, put 5 regular tires on the car, and then you've got 4 tires that you can sell to the next sucker who blows up his run flat. Hey, that might work. I'm Jim Kenzie.
Toyota's marketing folk are touting 2012 as the year of the hybrid, and the more Priuses, the more possibilities. They also say that 1 in 5 Toyotas sold are hybrids. True, but as I've said before, 4 out of 5 are not. Now, the new Prius C, hey, it's a nice car. It's not going to knock your socks off, but it's not supposed to. It has all the safety and engineering you'd expect from Toyota. I just don't think 2012 or any year soon will be the year of the hybrid. I mean, Toyota already has a showroom loaded with good, small, fuel-efficient vehicles for a lot less money, like the Yaris. But then again, Toyota says it's sold almost 3 million Priuses globally since it was first introduced 15 years ago. Hey, I've been wrong before. Before we go, make sure you check out motoringtv.com. We've got it all, including anything you may have missed on a broadcast. And hey, we want to hear from you, so get in on the conversation by joining Facebook for the total motoring experience. That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
They have the guts to make something like this, which I think is good. You know, they do something unexpected, a surprise, which I like about Kia.
Motoring 2012 on TSN has been brought to you by Michelin, a better way forward.